That's pretty crazy. Hey guys, Sean Hammond with PremierGuitar.com. We're at Winter NAMM 2016 in Anaheim. We're talking to Matthew, right?
Yeah.
God, my brain is fried. Sometimes it's like I saw your name tag 2 seconds ago, but then I lost it. Matthew from Alexander Pedals, and we got Cody on guitar. Matthew, you have 2 new cool delays with very similar functionality, kind of the same control set, but different sort of tonal structure.
Yeah, that's right. It's our new DSP-based platform. It's our 2nd generation line of pedals. We've got the Super Radical delay and the Oblivion Vintage delay, and these are it's a big leap forward for us. They still have the same sorts of features that we're known for. Lots of versatility, lots of variability, but we've added presets, expression input, tap tempo, MIDI, and a bunch of other cool features. And each pedal has sounds that haven't been on any of our pedals before, so it's a new experience for everybody on these guys.
So what do you, I guess before we dive into the features and how they work, in a nutshell, what is the tonal difference between the Super Radical and the Oblivion? I mean, the Oblivion is vintage. Does that mean it has like analog chips and a digital control of them?
Not exactly. If you want to talk about analog chips in a digital brain, there's a guy down the hall that's a great guy to talk to. But our stuff is all DSP based. But what we do is we're meticulous and careful about how we craft our algorithms. Okay. So we do a lot of A/B comparisons with vintage gear that I own. It's stuff that belongs to players that work with us. So the Oblivion is it's based on 4 different vintage delay machines. We've got an analog mode, we've got a tape echo, we have an oil can delay, which is my personal favorite, and we have a multi-head delay. Whereas the Super Radical is based on a vintage digital delay, and there are 4 different sort of what we call tweak effects that you can add to that. You can use the tweak effects without the delay, but when you combine the 2, you get something that's really out of this world.
Cool. So when we came into the video, were we hearing the Super Radical?
Yeah, you were hearing the mod mode on the Super Radical. So that's a modulated delay. It's a delay with pitch modulation. You can have a chorus or a vibrato type sound, and you can blend that out if you don't want it, but it really gives you a wide sound that was really popular in the 80s.
And you were using the continuous controller here to control the time?
Yeah, exactly. Our expression pedal is actually able to control all 5 panel knobs at the same time. So the player can have it control the mix, the delay time, the feedback, the speed and depth of the modulation, and the player can choose to have them increase or decrease by any amount in every preset. So you can increase the mix in one preset, or you can decrease the feedback in another. So every preset sort of morphs between 2 completely different sounds.
So you could have the expression pedal control only one parameter or all of them, or anything in between?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really easy to set up.
Nice. Now, how many presets?
You can select 3 presets on the device itself. If you add an external MIDI controller, like the controllers by Disaster Area Designs, then you can access up to 128.
So why don't we hear a couple more sounds from the Super Radical and then hear the Oblivion?
Absolutely. This is our bend mode. It has a pitch shifter that's added to the delay effect. And we're using the expression pedal to move it from a slight pitch decrease in this mode to a big pitch glide up when we have the toe down. So you can pan between these 2, which is pretty fun. And this is our new mode. It's called Flow. It adds a resonant low-pass filter to the delay effect. So you can use it for a wah or a phaser type texture. You can also disable the oscillator on the filter and use it merely as a tone control, like this. It's not sweeping automatically. You can just leave it in one position. You can park it and just use it as coloration for the delay. Yeah.
What does the center button here do?
The center button selects the various delay sounds, and it also lets you get into the back page. And in the back page, you're able to choose the shape of the oscillator waveform. So we've got a sine wave here, we've got a square wave, and then we have ramps up and ramps down. So you're able to tweak the shape of the modulation to suit what you want to do. And again, you can also disable the modulation and just use the range control as a fixed parameter. So you can park any of the effects in any position.
Okay, so on the Oblivion, there's basically the same functionality, but it just has a more analog sound and the emulations of those various types of delays that you mentioned.
Yeah, on the Oblivion, rather than a single delay with effects on it, we have 4 different delays, each with their own sound palette and sound character.
Can we hear those now?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll start with the analog mode. And so one thing we've added on the Oblivion, we actually have on one of the back page parameters, we have a tone control. So you can dial in the brightness of the analog delay, the tape delay, and the multi-head delay to sit in a mix better. Sometimes you don't necessarily need the delay to be louder, but you may need it to be brighter to make it more present. So let me show you the variability of the tone control. So that works on all the, it works on the analog, the tape, and the multi-modes. On the oil can mode, it's a little bit different. It actually adjusts the age and the character of the drum. Yeah, in an oil can delay, there's an electrostatic drum. It's kind of a Rube Goldberg type contraption, but as we advance this knob, we actually increase the amount of sort of dirt and grunge on the oil can. Oil can is it's a character delay. You're not going to pick an oil can if you want something pristine and beautiful. You're going to pick it if you want something that has a lot of very distinct, it's a feel. So. A little more pleasant, I suppose, or a little less grungy. So the multi-head is another cool thing. In this mode, the modulation is disabled, but we allow you to choose different patterns of the heads. So we've got the depth selector becomes the pattern select on an old multi-head tape echo. They have a grouping of playback heads, and the way those work is you select different combinations of them to get different sort of delay rhythms.
You're talking about like an Echoplex?
More like an Echo Rec or a Roland Space Echo, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's got a lot of cool things you can do with this, and again, the tone control works on this one as well. So you can darken it up, and it sits in the mix a little better. It lays back a little bit. So it's a really cool machine. It's new for us. We haven't done any products that have this kind of functionality before. Nothing that has a specific sound in it.
Very cool. How much are these going for?
They're gonna go for $329.99. And they'll be shipping in March.
Cool. Why don't you tell everyone where to go online to find out more about all your stuff?
They're all at alexanderpedals.com.
Sweet. Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Thanks for playing. Thanks for joining us, guys. I'm Sean Hammond for PremierGuitar.com.